What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Almost Functional 40K. Here again with Aiden to talk Wolves.
Hey everyone, super excited. Yeah. Um, another Tuesday, another day to talk about Wolves.
Yep, we don't have much event stuff to go over because Aiden didn't do any events this weekend.
Nope.
And I went to an event about an hour away from my house and got there and realized I left my army at home. So I had to borrow an army from a friend. So I played World Eaters for 2 rounds. So I don't have much info to give back to the Wolf crowd other than take your armies when you go to an event.
Number one tip, bring your models.
Bring your models. So we're going to be doing a tier list tonight of what we think is and is not going to make it into the book. Let's see. How do you say that? Paratalotes saying Grammar should be S tier. We're not actually ranking the power of the units because until we actually see the rules and points and have it in hand. But once the book drop, we will do a tier list on the power of the units. But I do think Grey Hunters, as long as they're pointed appropriately, will be up in that range. I think they're going to be a must-take unit.
One of the best battle line in the game. They just have great stats.
Although the rumor from what everybody's seeing about trying to pick out the wording on those blurry data sheets is that they might be stuck at 10-man still.
10-mans,
which would suck and drop them a little bit because that's just a big point sink. And
they don't have good transports.
Yeah. Yeah, because if they're a 10-man, they can't get impulsors. They just can't ride in rhinos. They might have to put them in either in a repulsor, a land raider, or a storm wolf or storm raven.
Yeah, at that point you've got it. You're
be limited on their transports.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mentioned, but Space Wolves used to be able to combat squad back before anybody else could. So
really?
We used to be able to, back when everybody had 10 mans, we used to be able to split into 5s when no one else could. Yeah. So
I mean, that would be
maybe
so
they make us
cool.
take a 10, but if we were able to still split them, that literally you still have to take them in bricks to 10, but you can run them as 5s on the table. So we'll see how that goes, because if we're stuck at just taking 10 mans, that will hurt them a little bit, but I still think they're going to be strong. You're going to want at least one of them, because that's OC 30 running onto an objective.
30, man. Yeah. If you can take them in 5-mans, OC 15 plus a character, popping on transport, they're taking like
5-man. Yep. Impulsor rush with some land raiders and repulsors. Impulsor rush is really how I feel that would be a fun way to play them, but we'll see what they let us do with the units.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump right into this thing. All right, let me pull it up on the screen so I can see it. All right.
So what are we doing here? We've got a tier list. We've got all the units in the old Codex and the new Codex that we know.
Yeah, we got everything from the old book plus the ones they've previewed. So we're just going to have what's no doubt in our mind going to make it in. This is 100% in. More than likely, it should make it. Who knows? We're on the fence. Probably not. We don't think it'll make it. And no shot, 100%. It's going to Legends.
Yeah. So we're just ranking here out of all the Space Wolf units, 35, 37 data sheets. What do we think?
38 with the new stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And we're supposedly only 20 of them are going to be in there, and we know what 5 of them are. So.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. So I guess I'll just go in the order. We have the pictures showed up in the thing. I guess they did them alphabetical when I inserted them into the thing.
Awesome.
So first up, we got Arjack.
What do you think about Arjack?
I was thinking he might be going away, but then I heard someone else talking about rumors that he might be getting a new sculpt to go with the new Terminators.
Yeah.
So I'm at the who knows with him at this point. I originally thought he was probably not, but with the rumors, I would possibly bump up the who knows. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think this is a new character. It either could be dropped or it could be refreshed, because I know they're doing Terminators. Terminators on the Codex.
Yep.
I know they're doing Terminators. So they could refresh Logan and Terminator. They could refresh Arjack. So this is kind of in the middle, maybe on the upper end.
Yep. All right. So next up, we got Bjorn.
Ooh, man.
I'm super torn here because they've been getting rid of box dreads, but Bjorn is so iconic. So I don't think he's no doubt. I want to put him more than likely,
I
but
know,
I
but
think he might be in Who Knows.
I think he's like in the 50-50 category, getting dropped or not. He needs a refresh. I mean,
Mhm.
um, they have kept old box knots, but with only 20 data sheets, we have like 4 different box knots. If there is going to be a box knot that's being kept, it's Bjorn.
Yep.
That being said, it's still not more than likely.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that would hurt my heart if it went away.
Yeah.
This one we don't really have to debate much. They were in the preview. Blood Claws are in.
Blood Claws definitely getting, yep, new models look sick.
Canis Wolfborn.
Oh
I don't
man.
want to say no shot, but I'd say probably not. Closer to no shot.
Yeah, I would say probably not as well because we have so many Thunderwolf characters. There's
Yep.
like one, two, three, four Thunderwolf characters, 5 if you count Logan.
Hmm.
That's not, there's no way a quarter of our data sheets are Thunderwolf characters. So
Yep.
Canis and Harold, probably not.
Yep. All right. Next up, we got the Cyberwolf. I would say this is no shot.
No shot. We know Fenrir Wolves are getting updated.
Yeah.
Eh, Cyberwolf is an unused data sheet. It's an old
Yeah.
model. Yeah,
He
no
was
shot.
nice when you could take him by himself back in last edition, but you rarely run him because now you have to attach him to another unit, and it's a 50-point investment just to give them a character and just
That doesn't do anything, and it's OC
right.
zero, and it's just it's bad.
All right, Fenrisians. So their data sheet, I think, is going to go away now. Whether or not they come back as the Hunting Wolves as their own data sheet as Hunting Wolves or as part of the Head Takers, I'm not sure. But I think in their current incarnation, they're probably going away.
Yes,
But
I agree. They'll either be translated into those hunting wolves,
yeah,
likely. So it's
so
probably
I
not.
think as they are is probably not, but they're going to be in some fashion. So I don't know if
Yeah,
we
we
say
already
who
know the
knows because
wolves.
they're going to be in there some way. We just don't know how.
Right, right. Yeah,
Um, then we got Grey Hunters, just like the Blood Claws. They
we
were in
already
the preview.
know.
They're
Really
one of the
cool
units we're
addition.
all super excited for.
Hmm.
We'll see how their rules shake out, but yeah, they're 100% in. Herald,
Another Thunderwolf character, probably not.
probably not, but do we think they get rid of all the Thunderwolf characters?
Ah,
Because Herald had his own, doesn't he have like his own great company and stuff?
I think he does. I think he does.
So I think he might be who knows. I think there's a chance he stays. I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just am very doubtful they're going to include a lot of Thunderwolf characters. If they
I
do,
don't
there'll
think
be
they're
one
going to.
Thunderwolf character.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to keep all of them, but they may drop the Wolf Lord or the Battle Leader, keep one of those two. So Herald and one of the other two options, and then the Thunderwolves, maybe. Or they
Yeah.
just get rid of him and have no named Thunderwolves. But
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. It's really tough. I
that's to
think
say, it's like that's one I'm really undecided on.
yeah, I'm thinking just one Thunderwolf character in Thunderwolves. But anyway,
Yeah. So then we got the Head Takers. Once again, they were in the preview. They're up here.
yep.
The other unit I'm super, super excited about.
Hmm.
Hounds of Mordkai, a
Definitely
spatial specific
guaranteed.
unit. Yeah, so I don't think there's any doubt that Hounds of Mordkai make it.
They're already Primaris. They have their own scope. They have their own rules. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no way
they're
they're
a newer
bringing
thing.
Ooh,
Iron Priest. I would say more than likely. I don't think it's guaranteed, but he's unique enough that I think he stays around because they already have. Unless they're planning in the new Marine book that's coming out in the next year or so, from what I'm hearing, to give like those options, which I think they had at one point in one of the Marine indexes. You could take a Tech Marine and give him those upgrades, but only Space Wolves could do it. So he wasn't his own data sheet for Space Wolves. But what are your thoughts on that?
yeah, Iron Priest. I think they're going more Viking themed in this
Yep.
release, in this update. I think this is a 50-50 for me. Who knows?
All
I
right.
would put him in who knows. I don't know that he's like more likely than anyone else to get in. Like than
Yeah.
Bjorn. Is he more likely than Bjorn to get in,
I would say yes, because he's like Tech Marines are not getting rid of Tech Marines like they've been getting rid of box knots. Like they got rid of the
Right.
Blood Angel Psyker Dreadnought. They got rid of the. So I would I mean, that's just I think the Iron Priest has a better chance of staying than Bjorn.
Hmm.
Of the 5 here, I'd say he's more likely to stay. So we'll put him at the front of these. We'll put him at
Yeah,
the
that
front
makes
of
sense.
Who Knows.
Yeah.
And I'll move Bjorn in front of. No, if Arjek has rumor, so I'll leave Bjorn right behind Arjek.
Yeah, Arjek has rumors, Bjorn does not. So that's kind of
Yeah.
where.
And yeah. So the ranking kind of matters where they are in the thing, but not 100%. Crom, I would say, is here.
No shot. He's not a well-known character.
Yeah.
I guess he's been around for a while. He's been on a couple. He's kind of bought some Space Wolf art, but
Yeah.
not very well known. Not like to get into Resculpt.
Yeah. All right, and then we have. All right, so let's read some of these here. I think Bjorn becomes an upgrade to their Redemptor chassis, or gets treated like Corandrus and goes away for a while and comes back upgraded later.
Yeah, I think that's where we're
possible.
at with
And then we
Bjorn.
got.
I want Logan, Canis, and Harold, the leaders of Thunderwolf Cavalry, to become leaders of Wolfguard head takers. They'd be on foot, and their personal Thunderwolf is now part of the Tandem Wolves.
There we go.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to switch chats. It froze the StreamYard for some
Yeah.
reason.
But this probably guy's saying have the Thunderwolf characters join head takers, and that Thunderwolves become part of the Tandem Wolves, which would be a really interesting idea. That would be really cool.
Yeah. All right. So then we got, it says no shot the Iron Priest stays. Well, I wouldn't say no shot. They've always been in Space Wolves from the.
Did I lose you again? Are you there?
Like, they're like really important in the lore of the original Space Wolves. So
yeah,
I do think there's a good chance he stays.
And then also I think about there's a lot of things like that. Like I said, Crom's been on like really early edition Codex art. We have Lucas. We have like the Sky Claws and the Long Fangs, which have been a part of Space Wolves for a long time. So it's like there's a lot of like Space Wolves are a deep Codex, but we're only seeing 20. So
yep, and they're from what I'm seeing in the preview so far is they're going back more toward the old theme of Space Wolves. But I think Iron Priest still fit. All right, so next up we got Foot Logan.
I think this is either no doubt or more than likely. I mean,
I'd say more than likely.
Yeah.
Just in the off chance they decide to keep the Storm Rider version, but I do think this one's more likely to stay than Storm Rider. I don't think we'll have both versions of Logan in the book.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have both versions of Logan, but Logan's been rumored, and he's also the chapter master. Because he's the chapter master, I think he's got to stay. He's got to stay.
Yeah, one version. Yeah, but I don't think we'll get both. So that would make me put Storm Rider in Who Knows?
I think probably not. Yeah.
Probably not? All right.
Yeah, because it 100% it needs a model refresh, and unless they're going to refresh that and the Thunderwolves, it's definitely not looking likely for me.
Yeah, I'd say Foot Logan is more likely to stay, unless here's a weird thing I was thinking about the other night. In this Armageddon book, Logan dies, Ragnar becomes chapter master, and they clear out that data sheet.
Whoa, that would be insane. Oh my God, that would be insane.
Yeah.
V1Z is saying, also bear in mind rumors that the head takers have 2 data sheets, one for sword and board, one for dual wielding.
I don't see that happening. It's more likely you have the option of matching the units like Space Wolves have always had for most of their specific units.
Right.
So I believe it'll all be in one data sheet because they don't want you running 6 squads of these.
Yeah, I think that's probably where it is. I think I think of these like Blade Guard or even like Wraith Guard, Wraith Blades. They did split Wraith Guard and Wraith Blades, but within Wraith Guard, the melee version, or with Wraith Blades, they can either take sword and board or they can take dual sword. That's the same data sheet. So I think likely it'll be one data sheet. I just wonder how the Wolves will interact. Are they going to be part of the – sounds like they're going to be part of that data sheet and then split off into a different unit once you deploy.
Yes. And depending on whether or not they restrict us to Blade Guard, we could then possibly take 3 Blade Guard, 3 of each Headhunter version if they gave us that option and have 9. So I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll limit us from Blade Guard because did they limit Dark Angels in them from Blade Guard?
No, Dark Angels can take Inner Circle and Blade Guard.
Yeah, so I think we'll still have that option too. So I don't think they'd give us the option to take 9 of those. All right,
Right.
next up we got Long Fangs.
This is another one, man. They've been around forever.
Yeah,
They've been
I
around forever.
don't think we lose them because Devastators are still around, and they're just the Space Wolf version of Devastators. If they had gotten rid
Right.
of Devastators completely, I'd be more worried about them. So I think they're more than likely to stay, honestly.
Okay. I mean, this to me feels like very similar to Iron Priest. Been in the Codex forever. It's the Space Wolf version of that data sheet. Tech Marine to Iron Priest, Devastators to Long Fangs.
Yep.
They're both iconic to Space
But
Wolves,
I
but
think they're in the game. Yep.
yeah.
So yeah. So I think more than likely. What do you think? More than likely, or who knows?
I think I'm fine with either.
Yeah. Because I don't see Long Fangs going away. They're like, there's 3 levels of being a Space Wolf initiate. You're a Blood Claw, then you become a Grey Hunter, and then you elevate into the Long Fangs. And if you're heroic enough, somewhere in there, you get chosen for Wolfguard. Like, that's the hierarchy of Space Wolves progressing through the chapter. So if they
Right.
upgrade them or do some change to them, but I don't think Long Fangs just go away because that's part of the progression of being a Space Wolf.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, Lucas, what do you think about Lucas? I think
I think no shot.
I think that too.
Yeah.
We already saw 2 refreshed foot characters.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty sure Logan's going to be in there. So I just don't think they're going to do that many foot characters refreshed. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then we got Murder Fang.
Oh man, I think this is probably not territory.
Yeah. I don't think he'd have 100% no shot, but yeah, I'd be surprised if he's in the book.
If they did a upgraded Redemptor chassis or Brutalis chassis,
yeah.
like if there was like an upgrade sprue for both Bjorn and Murderfang, maybe that could be cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like turn a Brutalis into Murderfang with an upgrade sprue. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we got Niall.
This has been rumored, so I think it's more than likely. Again, I think they might focus on Terminators. You know.
Yeah, because he used to be in Power Armor. He just became a Terminator in the last couple editions.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, originally they got to sculpt him in Power Armor. He's just standing there, both arms up, one hand holding a staff, and the other has his eagle on it, or Cyber Raven.
Oh, okay.
Nightwing, Night Fang, whatever. I can never remember the name of that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been in the book since Space Wolves were a thing. So I don't think he goes anywhere, especially with the redone Terminators. I think we're going to keep some of the Terminator characters.
Yeah.
Ragnar. I'd say no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Yeah.
Already updated, iconic character.
Yeah. Yes. He is, the first thought of Space Wolf character.
Mm-hmm.
Skyclaws, I'd say no shot.
Yeah, I would say no shot or probably not. I mean, I know we're not necessarily a jump faction. Blood Angel's got like 4 different jump data sheets for some reason.
Yep.
But again, this is a unit that has been around in Space Wolf for a long time. So I wouldn't put it in no shot, but I would not say it's who knows or more than likely.
Yeah, because I know they got rid of regular Assault Marines in regular Marines, the firstborn jump Marines. So I think just JPIs fill their slot and we just get rid of them. But we'll leave them in probably not because there's always a chance.
Yeah, there's always a chance. Now, what do you think about these flyers, man? Flyers are cool models. I just hate aircraft in 40K. They just don't really fit well with the game design. So I wish they would go away, but they're also relatively newer models.
Yeah, the Dark Angels kept theirs. The whatever it's called, the weird looking one that drops the stasis bombs and stuff. Storm Ravens are still in. I think they're more than likely, as much as I'd like to clear out them to save some of the other data sheets.
Get other cool stuff. Man, it would suck.
They're both more than likely.
I kind of agree, and I put that. I don't like that I'm putting it that high. That we're putting it that high, but I also agree because I don't want 2 of our data sheets to be flyers that aren't really used because their rules aren't very good.
But if we go to like an infantry base, transport heavy army, I could see the Stormwolf getting some use.
It could
hold like 16 models. I think it can. I'm not sure if it can hold a dreadnought. I haven't looked at its rules in so long.
I cannot.
But Stormfang, I don't think see as much use. But I could see the Stormwolf getting use, especially if we're stuck with the 10-mans and they can't get impulsors.
Yes, I could see that
a lot of
being
Land Raiders.
Yeah, as an alternate Land Raider or Repulsor. I would like it to change rules or go down in points because currently it just doesn't do either good. It's not that
Yep.
durable. It moves fast, but then they can't charge after it moves fast. So it's like
Yep.
whatever. It just doesn't do anything better than a Repulsor or a Land Raider. So if I want, they might be staying. I would like them to change the rules or points.
Yep. Next up, we have the Space Wolf Venerable Dread. I'm leaning toward probably not for this one.
I think I'm also leaning toward probably not. This is a little bit more likely than the Wolfen Dreadnought, but this is
Yes.
on the lower end of probably not, closer to no shot.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Next one, this one's just no shot. No need to talk about it.
No, come on. This is like
I personally think this is more than likely.
oh man. I want to put it up there, but I really think it's a 50-50 shot at this point. I'm really 20 data sheets is not a lot. You know, so I think people either love this model or hate this model, and like there's only two camps. You can't like feel okay about this. Like some people really like the Viking aesthetic, the more like gritty infantry based Terminators, all of that stuff. Some people love the mounted wolf aesthetic, and that I fall into that camp. So I think like both of those are both iconic to the faction. I really hope they keep that, but they were really avoidant when someone asked the question in chat.
Yeah. Dude, I would be happy for Outrider Swift Claws on Outrider bikes. That would be. There's rumors of a multi-part Outrider kit coming, which means we could possibly getting bike characters back with the new Space Marine book when it comes out in the future.
That would be cool, man. Bikes are cool. I love mounted units.
Oh, I still love bikes. I still got a custom built Chapter Master with a Thunder Hammer and Shield on a bike.
Yeah. Bikes are just cool.
Yeah. Yorick, I say, is more than likely. May or may not get a refresh, although this is already a refresh from his original model in the last couple editions.
Yeah. I mean, the model looks good. It's not like the model's lagging behind. It's a gorgeous model. It might be slightly smaller, but he is an iconic character. I think it's more than likely.
And he's super old, yep. So, yeah. And honestly, I think they could just leave him so he'd be the old short man running around with a bunch of new color.
Yeah. Yep. He never crossed the Rubicon Primaris because he was just too stubborn.
Yep. Wolfguard Terminators, I'd say no doubt because there's so many rumors of the new kit.
I think this is the one thing that we put in no doubt. Yeah, that hasn't already been confirmed.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Wolfguard Battle Leader and Terminator armor.
We saw Wolfguard on foot is already being released.
Yeah.
Man,
because we're getting the regular Battle Leader, which we haven't got to yet. So, like, I don't think it's no doubt. I don't know who's more likely. I'd say it's who knows.
I think it's who
knows. I could see them keep him, but I could see them drop him.
Yeah, exactly. He's another foot character. They're only going to refresh so many foot characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Wolfguard Battle Leader on Thunderwolf.
Ooh.
I'd say he's who knows because I think him, Harold, and the Wolf Lord, between the three, we keep one or two of them.
Yes.
But I'm not sure which ones.
I think that's best case scenario. We keep a character and Thunderwolves. That's best case scenario.
All right,
for me, at least.
Yeah, bold prediction. This Wolfguard Battle Leader is a no doubt.
Oh, boy.
All right, Skyclaws.
No, we already did Skyclaws. This is the pack leader.
Oh, this is the Wolfguard pack leader with a jump pack. All right, so that's
pack leader. No way. Any pack leader, Terminator armor on
Terminator
foot,
pack leader, foot pack leader.
They're
all three of these pack leaders, I think, are right here.
They're kind of just sergeants, but you pay more points for them, and then you have to join to that squad. So you're paying like 1.5.
If anything, there'll be an upgrade on the unit's data sheet now.
Yeah, I think they're just sergeants. They'll be rolled into sergeants.
Yeah, that'd be a way to keep them, but also free up the data sheet. All right, next up, we have the actual Wolfguard.
Oh, man. For me, this is either probably not or no shot because I think these guys are just translating into the head takers. You know? What do you think?
I don't know because they say they could be Terminators, they could be head takers. Wolfguard is so iconic. I don't know if they get rid of them, but then I also don't know if they keep them without a refresh. And are they refreshing them too, along with Terminators and new head takers? And I mean, they could be refreshing just the whole range at once. So I would maybe say who knows, but maybe at the bottom end of who knows.
Yeah, I kind of agree with. Yeah,
I could see them keeping them to be one of the things that Ulrich can still run with. Because I don't know if they're going to let him run with the Tacticus units.
Oh, that could make sense. Or look with Tacticus units, giving like 4 rolls hit wound would be crazy.
Yeah. Well, because he could always run with Blood Claws and stuff. So even they're still Blood Claws, they're just new armor.
Right.
We're kind of getting rid of Primaris, so I could see that staying. So
yeah,
I'd say who knows with them because
lower end of who knows. For me, I personally feel that the new head takers are the new Wolfguard. So yeah,
we'll see. You could be right about that. So Wolf Lord, same like. I think one, if not two of these three stay, but I don't know which ones.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
No shot for this
No
guy.
shot for the Wolf Freeze. One of the coolest models ever.
Yeah, they're just psyched. They just want us to think they were giving us those rules back, and then they're gonna.
Oh man, that's gonna be a fun data sheet to play around with.
Yep. Wolf Scouts.
Oh man, this is the same. I think this is on the same level as Long Fangs and Iron Priest for me, and Skyclaws. Like all three of those are iconic. They're all Space Wolf versions of Space Marine data sheet.
Because normal scouts are like the initiates of other chapters. This is supposedly an elite veteran unit for us. So they need to release an upgrade kit for them that works with the new bigger scouts and tweak their rules so they don't have the exact same rules with just a couple different weapon options to make them a unique thing.
Right.
So I don't know if they're going to do that or just drop them and like, look, you get scouts like everybody else gets scouts.
Yeah, I could see them including 1 or 2 of the Space Wolf versions of the Space Marine data sheets, but not all of them.
Yeah, I think Long Fangs are more likely than Scouts. I do chance, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah, Wolf and Dreadnought. What are we thinking for that? Did I lose you?
Sorry, I unfortunately think he's here or here.
I think he didn't even get a kit in the first go around. He's probably no shot. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Wolfen, I would say more than likely.
For me, again, I think this is more than likely. People are saying we might lose them, but they're iconic to the faction. It's like part of the integral part of our lore, like the big faction flaws that we have the first of the Wolfen.
Well, and they're the 13th company's supposed to come back at the Wolf time when Russ and stuff comes back. So if all the rumors of them heading towards Russ are true, I don't see them getting rid of Wolfen.
Yeah, I think they're more than likely. We were talking about in the reveal show, one of the Blood Claws or one of the Grey Hunters has like a werewolf deformed head. Is like alluding to the Curse of the Wolfen. So this is like iconic to the faction. They're keeping that lore in the faction.
Yes. All right. So in no doubt, more than likely, we got 15. So that would mean we'd get 5 out of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5 of these could stay, 6 would go. And that's not counting whether or not we get any new things like the Head Taker or Wolf Priest that are their own new thing instead of just replacing something.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. And this is a whole range refresh. So there is still a chance that Lehman Russ comes. Like they've been really cryptic about this. They didn't drop any hints that this was coming.
Yep.
And all of a sudden a whole new refresh. So maybe there's more to this refresh than we're thinking.
Yeah, so for what I'm seeing here, I'd say these 4 plus one of the 3 Wolf characters would probably be our last 5, unless there's a Lehman Russ or something.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of in the same boat.
One of these up here, and something like that, he could swap out for either of these other 2 easily.
Yeah.
But then again, the RJack rumors could be false. Iron Priest could get dropped. If you want, like I say, that's why they're in who knows, because we're not sure on these.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I think there's the Space Wolf version of Space Marine data sheets like times 5, you know? So I think a couple of those might stay, but not all of them.
Yeah, and Logan, the only way I see Logan going is, like I said, if he gets killed off in Ragnar takes his place or if he gets killed off and Russ comes back.
Yeah. I just don't. I mean, I wonder if they will kill a chapter master. When's the last time they killed a chapter master? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, until the last couple editions, they hadn't progressed the story at all from like 2nd edition through like 7th edition. It was like it moved like a year in like timeline. Like the timeline just didn't move. The story, nobody died off. Nobody, like nothing changed. When they brought back Gilliman and started doing all the Primera stuff, they actually really started advancing the story for the first time in like ever.
Yeah, Yarick has been around since what, like 3rd edition or something.
Oh yeah.
And then he finally after 20 years, finally went away.
What I say, yeah, the story was very, very stagnant. So it was easy to know all the lore. Now it's easy to fall behind on what's happening because they keep releasing these campaign books. So I could see them, to bring Russ back, I could see them doing something epic and like, oh my God, Logan Grimnar died or Bjorn died.
Bjorn, man. I mean, you
If Russ comes
it.
back, I see Bjorn going.
That was what you called. Yeah. Yep. Because Bjorn is supposedly staying alive until Russ comes back, and then he can finally rest.
So if they bring Russ back, I think he could just swap this Bjorn, would take this Bjorn spot for a data sheet.
Yeah. I'm not calling it that Russ is coming back, but there's definitely.
No. I'm not saying I don't see them getting rid of Bjorn unless Russ comes back.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not calling that's happening in this book. There's a potential it could be more toward the end of 10th, going into 11th.
Start of 11th or something.
Like a campaign book or something. I think that's what they did with a couple of the other Primarchs. They weren't in the original book. They came in like the campaign books.
Yeah. Cameron is saying, honestly, I don't want Stormrider anymore. Logan needs to stay unless he gets replaced by Russ. Yeah, Stormrider is one of the dumbest models.
Yes.
I've got a really cool conversion in my Stormlance list. So, I'm going to be sad to retire that. But yeah, Stormrider needs to go. I think Logan really needs to stay.
Yes. All right. So that's the tier list. Anything else you want to go over on that? Any other questions or thoughts from the chat on that?
No, tier lists are always fun, man. And this is such a toss up. Look how many units that we could get or could get refreshed, There's a lot of stuff that could be in the new book. So I'm excited for those models. If they refresh Thunderwolves and they have new models with new Thunderlord, like a Wolf Lord, a new model, my mind is going to be blown. So
absolutely.
Oh man, or Bjorn gets a new kit and he's like this giant old ancient Brutalis body, Redemptor body. Man, that would be so cool.
That could be really, really cool.
Bless you.
Oh, sorry about that. All right. So you want to go ahead and maybe, because we've only been going about a half hour, want to jump into some of these lists from Army List, the Army List website, the stuff that.
Yeah, we got some time. I figure we could look at the results this week, and even though we know everything's going to be changing.
Yeah, but still see, we got about a month or so before the pre-release.
Yeah.
And then once the pre-release comes, we got some time before the book comes out to still
look at.
Yep. All right.
Events.
Stop that screen. I'll bring up this other screen. Window. All right. So over here, I went to 4 more rounds, 1 or fewer losses. So we got 3-1. We got 3 5-0s.
Wow.
One at an 84 player, one at a 38, one at a 42. We had a 3-1 at a 296 player event.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, Space Wolves did great this weekend. They did really well.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at this 3-1 list first.
Adepticon.
Yep. Oh, this was Adepticon. All right, duh. So we have Bjorn, Judicar with a frost weapon, Combi Lieutenant, Logan, Murder Fang, Ragnar, Yorick, no Black Death, Intercessor Squad, Impulsor, Rhino, Blade Guard probably for Ragnar, Blade Guard for Judicar.
Yep.
Lancer, 2 Scout Squads, 1 Vindicator, Wolf Guard, probably in the Rhino with Yorick.
Yep.
Pretty standard, good Wolf list. Units.
Yeah, lots of 4-up invulns,
Yep, got a little bit of shooting, units to play the mission. Yep, spamming 4-up invols, which I find is one of Wolf's strengths.
Mhm.
No Thunderwolves, which is rare to see a little bit these days.
Well,
But,
in Champions is actually pretty. You still can make a very powerful list
oh,
without Thunderwolves.
absolutely. Combi Weapon Lieutenant of Love. All right, so nothing crazy here to go off of. Just a solid Wolf list that looks like
Yep.
he probably played fairly well.
Hmm.
At a really big event. He lost a guard round one, then beat Custodes, Nids, and Space Marines to finish out his event.
Yeah, Gardner, a tough match, man. They have
Oh, yeah.
so much chaff and cheap units, high OC, a lot of
Oh, yeah.
movement. They have good tanks. It's
Yeah,
a tough match.
layout and mission, yeah, can be really can make it really hard into guard. All right, next up we got from the Sydney GT, 5-0. Dude, furries have everything worked out. Yummy, yummy. All right, this is a Stormlance.
Stormlance. There were two Stormlances that did really well, so I'm really proud of these guys.
Cool. So we got Bjorn, we got
Bjorn.
Harold, Storm Rider, Battle Leader, Battle Leader, Battle Leader, Wolf Lord with Fury of the Storm, no Hunter's Instinct.
Wait, scroll back up. Really? No Hunter's Instincts? What the heck? How is this? What the heck? What am I looking at?
Yeah, so that's interesting because I've always found it's hard to deploy 3 units in some of these deployments.
Yeah, he's got max characters with Bjorn. Bjorn and Stormlance.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and he's got max characters and Storm Riders, so even more space taken up.
Yep.
So we got Intercessor, 1, 2 Scout Squads, 1 6-man, 2 3-mans. Okay, that's how he
Yeah.
fit them. He didn't run 18 Thunderwolves. He ran 12.
Yeah, if you
All
run
right.
18 Thunderwolves with max characters nowadays, that's like
Yeah,
1,500
yeah.
points. So
So that
that's
makes
not
a little
really
more
worth it.
sense. So yeah, he was 6 Thunderwolves short of that, so that gives him more room to deploy it. Wolfen, 25 Wolfen.
To me, this is the new updated version of Wolf Jail. This is like
Yeah,
max Wolfen, max Thunderwolves, and then
yeah,
some mission play. Um,
yeah.
it's kind of still shocking that it's doing well. I thought people would know how to handle Wolf Jail nowadays, but I guess it's such a like skew list that can take people off guard.
Well, yeah, and even if you know how to deal it, if you roll a little bad or they spike a little on their saves, those wolf units just can take forever to dig through if you don't have the right tools.
Yeah, if they get first defender and first turn, they'll jail you with scouts, and then they'll jail you for the rest of the game with wolves. It's in
Yeah,
Wolfen. It just is it can be really brutal if you don't
yeah.
get the way you want it.
So he beat Marines, Custodes, Imperial Knights, Chaos Marines, and Chaos Knights.
Yeah,
I would think maybe he went first in the 2 night games, in which he can jail them, or if the Knights players were a little just scared of the Thunderwolves, didn't know what to do, and didn't come out aggressive. Because I find if those Knights, especially if they're running all the little ones, come out aggressive and swarm the middle early, they can jail you, and they have better OC, and it's hard, especially in Stormlance, to have the ass to dig yourself out of all those Knights, because he has
yeah.
no shooting in this list.
Zero shooting, all melee. But the one thing I think knights, especially baby knights, fall really quick to wolves and wolfen. Wolfen do great in baby knights because they're winning on 5s.
Yeah.
Thunderwolves, if you have your go turn, you can charge like 3 or 4 knights. Pretty much all of them are going to be falling. Yeah, it definitely is first turn, second turn dependent. But full wolf jail has the damage to take out knights. Custodes, I'm actually interesting, could be a bad matchup because of those 2 up saves. 2 up saves with AOC can be really a tough problem for wolf jail.
Absolutely. All right, but he did it. And he pulled it off. And that's what he will. He's always doing well. That's
Yeah, he's won a couple events with Stormlands previously.
yeah, he's one of the best Space Wolf players there
Proud
is.
of Woody.
And Sydney. So yeah, I think he's over there in Australia holding it down on that end of the world.
Mm-hmm. Got wolves all over the world.
Yeah, we do. All right. Gonna be even more once this new box comes out. All right, so this is from the GT Hispalis Dario Gallego. This is Champions. He's got Bjorn, Logan, Ragnar, Yorick, Black Death Captain, Judicar, Assault Intercessors, Blood Claws, JPI, 2 3-man Blade Guards,
Interesting.
1 Infiltrator Squad, 1 Scout Squad, 2 5-man Wolfen, 2 3-man Outrider, Fenrisian, Repulsor, Rhino.
Interesting. This is
Yeah,
like
this is a
really
little
MSU.
Absolutely. This is probably plays the missions and trades very, very well.
Yeah.
It's probably not as much about doing damage. The captain's unit
Yeah.
can go kill one thing to help trigger like lethal. Ragnar with squad of Blade Guard, I'm assuming, and the Judicar. They both have a 3-man. They're still decent little trading units. They're just not gonna have the ass the full squads do, but you're just having more units this way.
Right. Well, the interesting thing with the repulsor is in the 3-man blade guards, you could have 2 3-man blade guards with 2 characters, a 5-man assault intercessor with a character in one repulsor because it can hold 14. So that repulsor is probably holding three missiles that'll all probably trade up, especially
And
with
then you got
with the champs buffs.
the Rhino. Oh, 10-man blood claws. Did I miss that? Or, I don't know.
Yeah, with Ulrich, right? Yeah, Ulrich.
All right, and they're in the Rhino. All right, so you got
Mhm.
one kind of big unit.
It's
Yeah, I like it.
interesting.
This is a real good. This is a more of a trading army.
Definitely trading.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a lot more patience and skill and forethought. This
Still
isn't.
0 shooting though.
Yeah, 0 shooting. The last 2 lists both had 0 shooting and both went 5-0.
Yeah, it makes me want to not take shooting.
I mean, I guess the repulsor has a little bit of shooting, but yeah, not heavy shooting. Maybe we're putting too much points into shooting here.
Yeah, honestly, I think our melee is best, but
Yeah,
I always struggle when I take 0 shooting because my opponent sits their tanks
yeah.
out in the open and shoots all game. So
So beat Dark Angels, World Eaters, Eldari, and the Imperial Knights back to back.
back-to-back Imperial Knights. I mean, once you get that Saga of the Beast Slayer up, you get
Yep.
lethals, lance, +1 AP sustained. Each one of these missiles will take down a knight. You know.
Yep. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is both the last 2 lists we've seen take down 2 knights. The other was Imperial and Chaos. This one's double Imperial.
Interesting.
And they're one of the things I've been struggling with. About 50-50 into knights right now. So that's
Yeah.
if we weren't getting all our new stuff here in a month or so, I might have to do a real deep dive into some of this, but I think I'm just going to stay the course because I only got like 2-3 more weekends before I go out of town for about 3 weeks. So by the time I get back, it'll be time to start from scratch with everything. So I don't think I'm going to start from scratch just for 1 or 2 events.
Right. Okay.
Then we got the Gauntlets, Phoenix 40K GT, Stefan Mertens.
Stefan, he's the guy that went to Worlds. He's been playing the same list for about a year and a half now. Stormlands.
So much Foot Logan, Battle Leader with Hunter Instincts, Wolf Lord, JPI, Assaultant. Oh, 2 JPIs. I just read that weird. 1 Fenrisian squad, 2 Lancers, 1 Reaper, Scout squad, 6-man of Thunderwolf, 1 Wolfen, 1 10-man Wolfen.
Yeah, Stefan's got an interesting mix of shooting and melee, 2 Lancers and a Reaper.
So here's your list with some shooting that's doing well. So don't necessarily have to scrap that idea.
Yeah, and he is really mega aggressive with his. I've seen him play a number of times on the stream. He's mega aggressive with his first Wolf Squad. He rapids ingresses and auto 19 advances on the first turn to go just sit on your opponent's expansion with as much OC and wolf bodies as possible for as long as possible.
I mean, I find that's the best thing to do with the Wolf Jail list. Just jail them as quick as possible and be like, yeah, you're going to dig through it, but can you do it fast enough?
Yeah, I'm going to sit on objectives and, -1 to hit, -1 to wound, blood surge into you. You're going to kill me, but is it going to be 1 turn? Is it going to be 3 turns where I'm scoring primary and you're not?
Yeah, because you got 2 JPIs and 2 scout squads to come up behind scoring stuff, and then the Wolfen coming in behind the Thunderwolves probably to help kill stuff.
Yeah, really interesting list.
And then some shooting over the top, and any of these little units could, or any of these shooting units could still jump out into a containment or holding objectives behind the wolves shoot like. And did he have? I wonder what's on his backfield.
Scout squad.
They could always put a scout squad back there, and depending on the mission, if you don't need to hold it, jump them up and bring them up later.
Yeah, especially because go ahead.
Or depending on the layout and where the objective's placed, have a Lancer or Reaper touching it and shooting off of it.
Touching and shooting downrange. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then if he ever triggers Majesty, you could just put Fenrir Wolves back there.
No Majesty, it's Stormlands.
Oh, well then never mind. They're never getting OC. They're just another screening, bubble out, kill a little trade piece unit.
Yep, totally.
All right, so he beat Orcs. Let's see, was that the new Daka? More
More
Daka.
Daka.
He beat a new Daka.
Let's see what he's got.
Zogdrak, Big Mech, Big Mech, Big Mech, War Boss, 10 boys, 10 boys, Gits, Gretchen, Commandos, Ludas, Knobs, Storm Boys, Tank Busters, Truck. Uh, so he does have some knobs in the War Boss. A couple points he took out of the Ludas. He's only got 2 5s and a 10. So he's missing a tiny bit of shooting, but that's still a lot of shooting in Mordaka to beat.
Yeah.
But if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Stormlance.
I think Stormlance is the way to go against shooting.
Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, and I lost him. Let's see.
We just looked at Steve.
Yeah, so then he beat Tau, Tyranids, and double Eldar.
Oh, man. Stormlance loves Eldar. It has the speed and the blood surge of the -1/1. And it just
I find any Thunderwolf list likes Eldar. They just don't have the profiles to efficiently deal with Thunderwolves.
Yunari can be a bit tricky. Actually, can you check if either of those are Yunari?
Actually, I played my first game to the Yunari this weekend, but I was running World Eaters. Aspect.
Nope. Aspect gets run over. Yunari.
There it is. Last round was Yunari, yep.
Okay.
Autark, Visark, Ukraine, Yvrain. Yes, it's got all 3. Capelites, Wave Serpent, Venom, 5 Reapers, 5 Dragons, Banshees, Rangers, Scorpions, Sky Runners, Warp Spiders, Wind Riders, Incubi.
The only scary thing is the 10-man Incubi, but if you can play around that, then you're just totally dominating them on primary.
Dude, I played a couple weeks ago into the Wind Rider host. One squad of those bikes isn't scary, but he had, I think, 3 6-mans and then a 3-man. That many damage, 2 strength 6 shots coming at you. The Thunderwolves did not care for that. That's a game I won by like 3 or 4 points. That was
scary, man.
Yeah, that's of all the Eldar, they're fast. They're T4 instead of T3. They have an extra wound. Like, they are one of the things I actually think they pick up and can deep strike around you, so it's harder to jail them because he gets to pick 2 units up every turn. I think, honestly, I don't think it's one of the better Eldar lists, but I think it's one of the better Eldar lists into Thunderwolves.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. So what do you got coming up next couple weeks?
I'm traveling this weekend for my anniversary, which is really nice. And then the next weekend after that, I've got Battle to End Alzheimer's. And that's going to be a golden ticket event. So I really want to get first, second, third, or best overall.
Oh, yeah.
Get a golden ticket this year, which is my goal. So, I'm just kind of fiddling with the last 500 points of my army as I go into that event, making sure it's all painted up to best overall standard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. I got an RTT this weekend and then a GT the weekend after. And then
fun. What's the GT?
It's called March to War. It's being held by Warpfire Minis in Ocala, Florida.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
So what are you feeling for Wolves in between now and the Codex? I kind of got a little bit disheartened, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's all going to change in a month and a half.
Yeah, I'm not disheartened. I'm just not, because I've been doing fairly well with my list. I'm just, not motivated.
Unmotivated. Yeah, it's a better word.
To kind of come up with new tricks and like just use the tricks I have for the next couple of weeks until we get the new stuff.
Yeah.
Play with Candace as much as I can, because once the Codex drops, I'm probably going full Wolves.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of where I'm at. I want to give what I have the last spin. But yeah. Hogfather. Wow.
Yeah, what got you, Hogfather?
I'm kind of the list that I'm taking, I'm just spamming Corp Involves. So I think 15 Thunderwolves, a couple characters, and I'm actually taking 20 Sternguard with 2 librarians. So just spamming Corp Involves. I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely can take some people by surprise.
Absolutely. Some of these combos is going to be the last time you can do them, so play with them now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Hogfather, what army made you bring disgrace to Russ and the Allfather?
I'm going to guess it was It was orcs.
I would say orcs or some sort of knights.
Yeah.
But all right, any other questions from chat? Anything else you want to get into, Aiden? We're a little under the normal time. Like we could go for a little while longer, but I don't have much else to really talk about right now.
Yeah, we got some time to chat. I'm
Yeah.
just yeah, I think it's kind of the calm before the storm.
Oh yeah.
Like we're just waiting to hear more rumors, to hear more leaks. And until then, it's just we're kind of in limbo.
Well, yeah, and like within a month or so after getting our book and figuring it out, we're gonna be getting the new mission packs, and so secondaries will change, deployments, some of the missions will change. So it's gonna be a big shakeup for Wolves here in the
Big
next
shakeup.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah, our whole Codex range refresh, new
Yep.
missions. It's like the whole game for us is going to be turned upside down on its head. Yeah.
Oh, Hogfather said sisters got him.
Yeah, sisters could be tough. They have a lot
They
of
can
like
be, yeah.
good shooting, and they have a lot of crap they can throw in to clog up our melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're not quite as strong as they were, but they can still be. There's still some good sisters list out there. I actually haven't got to play into them recently, so that'd be interesting. I'd like to get a game into some sisters, but all right. Well,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. We'll be back next week to talk about how I did in my RTT. And I think, did you have one this weekend or in 2 weeks?
No, I'm not gonna have the one this weekend, but again, the GT in 2 weeks. So
All right, yeah. So we'll talk about my RTT. We'll both have a GT the next weekend. What we're planning for that, we'll talk about. Who knows? Might have some more Wolf leaks or reveals by then.
yeah, that could be really fun. I'm excited
Yeah,
for it.
we'll definitely keep. Yeah, they'll slowly start leaking that stuff out. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But once again, thank you guys, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. See y'all.